Hello, Saskia here, devotional goddess. I've retreated for a while as I have started on the chemotherapy for the cancer that is in my left breast. It has been quite a journey of reconciling, of making peace. When the diagnosis was first shared, it goes really fast, actually, with a biopsy followed by another biopsy followed by, just the whole sequence of events. And those little respites in between, I welcomed, as I mentioned in a previous video, to digest. And yet when it came to the crunch of starting, I put the brakes on and I wanted everything to stop. I wasn't ready. And had a second opinion from a trusted naturopath that I work with. And she said, I recommend you do. And so I moved forwards. And even throughout, I will continue to make peace with it. And I found it quite consoling speaking to people who have been on this journey before, to hear them say how they also fought it. The idea of taking chemotherapy and all those drugs in your body, knowing that it's there to kill off, but also knowing that it kills off a lot of the good cells, a lot of the healthy cells. And needing to take in a toxin as medicine. There is so much that I have healed on my own through natural medicine, through my own personal belief and my faith and my knowing that I have the ability to heal from within. And surrendering to this drug, which I'm still in the process of doing, making peace with. I'm getting there. It's still part of the journey. And honoring that this is a time of retreating and healing, deep healing. To allow for the surrender, to allow for the trust. I will admit that I wanted to be one of those people who healed themselves of cancer naturally. But I had to come to terms with the fact that right now, in this time, I need modern medicine. And again, that was part of my journey. I'm not against modern medicine. I know its power. I know its worth. And again, it was consoling to hear from others that they had similar emotions and that this is part of the natural course of events for many as well. My first 10 days were really, really quite intense, where I doubted my ability to get through this. Doubted if I was able to do this for the next 5.5 months. And then once those first 11 days had passed, I began to feel myself again. And then that feeling of, I can do this, it's all right, I can do this, began to come back in. And I was reminded of my postpartum days. When I was so sleep deprived, I was aware that my mental health, the quality of my mental health deteriorated when I wasn't getting enough rest, enough sleep, enough support. And I lent on that knowledge, I lent on that learning this time too. Like, okay, you need more rest, more than you're already giving yourself. And pacifying that mind that says, but you've given so much, why can't you get on with it now? And sometimes it's that harsh, and sometimes it's softer and more subtle. But honoring, using that loving voice inside of, yes, my love, you need more rest. Honor it. Go lie down. Go do some gentle breath work, some alternate nostril breathing, which calms and soothes my central nervous system, which calms and soothes my mind. Allowing myself to surrender and let my parents take care of me, cook for me, clean the apartment. And when they're back in Europe mid-month, I'll call on my friends who've already reached out and said, how can I help? How can I help? I'm here from you. I'm here for you. And now it's my humbling step to welcome you in. It strips you of a lot. Today I washed my hair and I stood in the shower and I could feel it running down my back, my hair, as I washed it. And intellectually I knew this is supposed to happen. I knew it was going to happen. They said your hair would thin before the second, but by the second it will come out fully. But I didn't expect it to happen. It felt like from day to night. This morning when I brushed my hair, there was an awful lot in my brush. That was the first time. And when I washed my hair, I didn't quite anticipate it, but intellectually I acknowledged it. And there were no tears, but as I began to comb my hair, it kept coming out, and then I just broke down. And just honored. I just honored the tears. And you know, when you brush your hair and you can feel when you're pulling it, and if there's a knot, but here you don't feel any of it. You don't feel any of the knots. You don't feel any of the pulling. It just fills your brush and it all comes out. So I don't even want to go there now. I don't even want to brush my hair. I don't even want to touch it because I don't want to get another handful of hair. I reached out to a dear friend, asked her to borrow her clippers. I reached out to another dear friend. So the friend with the clippers is going to drop by to sit their clippers tonight. And the other dear friend will come over tomorrow after school. And we will make it a sacred ceremony with the girls. The hairdresser told me the fact that the hair is coming out means the chemo is doing its job. It is taking down the cells that have gone rogue. And that was a nice positive spin to put on the hair loss. And I thought, I'll take it. So we will honor the chemo. We will honor that it's doing its job. And we will thank my hair for being with me this long, my whole lifetime to this point. And when the time is right, we will welcome in the new growth and make it a sacred ceremony, a blessing. And we'll allow it to be joyful so the girls can partake and the girls can be a part of it and take their ownership of this journey too. I've kept a journal as the doctors recommended. And they said it will, to a certain degree, replicate itself each chemo session. So it's heartening to me, we shall see, but it is heartening to me to know, okay, I will have symptoms in that second half, but I will still feel more myself. I won't feel as drunk and as intoxicated from the chemicals as I did in the first portion. And as my beloved yoga teacher mentor reminded me to bless and honor and thank chemo. Again, part of me still wants to recoil and pull back, but I'm just inviting that in. I'm inviting in peace. And I'm witnessing my fears arise. And honestly, they're the same fears that have always been with me. They're just more magnified in this context. And it is here to be healed. And I want to put these fears to bed, to rest, make peace with them, honor them, so that when they arise again, which they will, the hooks, how they cause anxiety in me, how they cripple me, that will no longer have its effect. I want to be in the place where I can witness them and embrace them lovingly or neutrally, either on, but be able to say, it's okay. That's not present anymore. Thanks for the heads up, but I don't need to invest any more energy into you. As with all my healings, I want, to the best of my ability right now, I want to liberate myself and free myself from those triggers so that I can be more connected to the infinite, divine part of myself. That is bigger than the triggers, because they're just the wounded, smaller parts of me. And I want to know the truth of who I am in the larger, magnificent capacity. That is my update for today. A week today, on Wednesday, is my second chemo. I think it will be in those second halves that I will feel that I have the extra to be here with you. But I'll visit again, and I will continue to share this journey. And I invite you to give yourself that loving space for your own healing, for your own inner work, for your own self-care, so that you can be with the wounded parts of yourself and allow to hold that space, to be fully present to it, in order to release the charge and the hold that it has on you. Because we can. And it is empowering and liberating. And as we continue to practice and practice and practice, it becomes less fearful. And you begin to know and live more within your power, your own grace, your own strength, and you come to know your own power and your own strength. And then when those events come up that trip us up and that place that massive mirror in front of us, believe me, it is more accessible to say, all right, bring it on. I know you. And I know that I am strong enough to hold the space for you. You being whatever the trigger is of the shadow part of yourself that is the not so attractive part that you want to put aside and sweep under the rug, because it's a bit ugly sometimes. But that you can indeed stay with your breath, stay in the moment, and hold it with indifference. It's ultimate. Love and blessings to you all. This is one of my symptoms, is a constant runny nose and bleeding noses and other side effects. Love and blessings. Thank you for your time. As I'm recouping and healing, I've set up a GoFundMe if you feel inspired to share the link, support me in any way. I would be very grateful. Thank you. It will allow me to maintain consistency within our life as I go on this healing journey. Much love.